Look who's joining us right here on the program from NCIS Origins, the man who plays the younger Leroy Jethro Gibbs. Austin Stowell, good to see you here, sir.
Good
How are
to see
you?
you. Been watching you since I was 8 years old.
Oh,
man.
my God.
Oh, come on.
Hey, now.
I'm not that old, so don't worry about it.
No. Now I feel older, but that's okay. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Now we're watching you in NCIS Origins that airs Mondays at 10 Eastern on CBS, available on Paramount Plus right here on the Roku portal. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. We're having fun.
It's pretty cool. I mean, this is as big as it gets for a CBS procedural, right? Pretty much.
I get to wake up and be Gibbs Monday through Friday. After this, I'm going to go back to the studio and shoot some scenes.
Is that right?
Throw some people around. Yeah.
But Mark Harmon is voicing, correct? So is he around, or have you seen him? Or?
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's around all the time. So the show is essentially a memory of his.
Right.
That he's up in Alaska where we last saw him when the mothership ended, or his storyline ended.
Right.
And so this is all a journal entry, and so these are his memories, him going through his early days, working through what is really essentially a meditation on grief for him at this point. He just lost his wife and daughter, so it's all sunshine and roses for me.
But it's awesome. And I got Austin Stowell, our radio audience, just rejoin us right here on the Rich Eisen Show. NCIS Origins, available on the Roku portal the next day on Paramount Plus. Every Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And we've had Mark Harmon here in that chair, and now you. And so we've had both Leroy Jethro Gibbs right here on the program, which is pretty cool.
That's surreal.
And yeah. I imagine, you're just like the rest of America watching NCIS, as well.
I'm seeing it with them. I got to see that episode for the first time the other night. So much fun. Yeah, I had all my friends over. It was really a thrill.
Pretty cool, man. And so you are from the Nutmeg State originally, right?
That's it, yeah.
Connecticut? So what's your town?
Kensington, Connecticut.
Kensington,
Connecticut. Yeah, not too far from when you were over at ESPN.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Farmington. That's where I lived, off of Route 4.
Yeah.
Farmington, down the road
Played
from
against
West
Farmington
Hartford.
High all the time.
Did you really?
I got some good memories of some wins, some losses. But
in what sport?
Baseball, basketball, and football.
So which was your best?
Baseball was my best sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you?
Pitcher and third base.
Pitcher and third base.
Yeah. I had a pretty nasty curve.
I was about to say, what's your compliment? What's your compliment?
I was throwing over the top and 3/4 and a sidearm, and I could throw the curve all three different ways. My dad built me a mound in the backyard, and I would just go out there and practice and practice and practice.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son, Coop, 13-year-old, yesterday after David Fry sent the Yankees back to their hotel, went out in the backyard, and he started throwing wiffle balls, And I'm like, okay, son, maybe you can be the next closer of the Yankees, if it all goes down. And
that'd be nice. Yeah,
you're a Yankee fan as well.
I'm a huge Yankees fan.
Is that because they were in New Britain? Is that why? Or
no, my dad was a big Yankees fan. Oh. It felt like Mickey Mantle was a member of the family that we never saw, but was much quoted. So I had no choice growing up. It was Yankees or nothing. And, I was getting updates last night as we were filming. Our camera operator is a big baseball fan, and so he's letting me know I'm freaking out after the Giancarlo home run.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he looks at me after a take and he goes, and I go back to him, who? Mm-hmm. Who? Mm-hmm. He goes, Holmes. I'm livid. In the sea,
you wanted a name.
I want a name. I want it now.
But you didn't have to ask the name. You probably knew what the name was deep down. You knew what the name was.
And so in the scene, I'm interrogating this drunk guy, and in the next take, I throw the guy up against the wall, and he's docile. This is somebody I'm dealing with. He's hammered, so I don't have to do much to it. And the director comes over after that. She goes, maybe take it a little easy on him. And I'm just walking around fuming. Clay Holmes. How do you bring Clay Holmes into that situation? 12 times. He's already been replaced. I don't get 12 times this year. He blows the save. And now we're bringing him in that situation. We go up 3-0. It's lights out. We're on to the World Series. Probably going to be Yankees Dodgers. It's what everybody wants. And now I don't like this momentum swing at all. It's freaking me out. I didn't need it.
So you're saying Clay Holmes, well, first of all, Luke Weaver blew the save.
So, okay, we found out he's a human being.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then Clay Holmes blew the game, and you blew the take. because of it.
No, I hope we use that tape. I think that's the one we're going to use. Yeah. That poor kid, though, I had to apologize to. I said, I'm so sorry, man.
It's Clay Holmes' fault.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, Aaron Boone, maybe, I don't know. But
I don't know. I mean, he has been performing better of late, Holmes. And
I thought he had it. I really did. And I'm sorry. Hey, Clay, if you're listening right now.
He's not listening anymore after what I've been saying about him over the last 6 weeks. Don't worry about it. My son and I refer to him as Schmeischmomes because we can't say the name.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We can't even say the name. But he has been performing better of late, and I don't know, man. It's one of those moments where Judge did it. Like it was finally his moment.
Living up to the Bronx Bomber. It's like Judge steps up. Giancarlo okay, we get an insurance run. I go, okay, all right, this is great. We're going to be up 3-0. I'm all happy, truly.
You're bouncing around the set of NCIS Origins.
And it was just the one look. Mike Alba, he just looked. And you don't want to see. Wow. Losing it.
So are you shooting today during Game 4? Or is this the same
I'll
situation?
go from here to there.
Okay, so then you're going to get more updates on the set.
I'll be watching live.
Okay, good for you.
I think we need to have an iPad set up or something.
By the way, this guy over there is playing a very small violin. He's a Red Sox fan. The gentleman behind you, T.J. Jefferson's a Met fan.
That's too bad.
I thought we were going to be friends.
Right. Yeah, we can be friends. I mean, it's fine. I mean, you have a lot of time on your hands these days. You're watching Yankee baseball. Isn't it nice?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's trying to be nice to the guest right now.
Sorry, brother.
Austin Stowell here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let me talk about a couple of movies that you've been in. They're two of my favorites. Whiplash. You were in Whiplash. You played the role of Ryan Connolly, right? It was brought in to mess with Miles Teller, his character, for a while, right?
Yeah, the character was written kind of as a jerk, and when I auditioned for Damien Chazelle, he said, I like what you're doing here. You're just kind of a big, jovial guy, and which would get under his skin all the more. You know, he's not trying to be a rival. He's not trying to take over the positions. Just likes playing the drums. Mm-hmm. But in that scene where J.K. has the cowbell, I mean, that was legit, and he was just slamming that thing next to our ear, and it would make the percussion would just make your head, dip off to the side, and afterwards he would immediately break character. And, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so the voice of the yellow M&M would all of a sudden come out, and he was the greatest guy in between the takes, but he was such a jerk, obviously, when he was doing it, and you wanted to just take the drumsticks and stick them where the sun don't shine.
And so he was able to completely break character as soon as they yelled
right
cut?
Afterwards, just jump right back into it. Yeah. And went in and out, and I've got an email that I sent to my brother at the time, and I said, no joke, this guy's going to win an Oscar for this.
And he certainly did. Yeah. And so that's fascinating to me. So he was, in fact, doing that live. Are you a drummer? Did you have to learn how to drum for this, or are you a natural drummer?
Yeah, no. So I sit down, I get the role, and I sit down with Jamie, and we're at the drum kit, and he can tell immediately. He goes, "You don't play drums, do you?" I said, "No, I'm naive to this whole." I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Your agent said you knew how to play drums." I know I'm still together. I've only had one agent, 16 years now. We've been together since day one.
Sure.
And I said, "Okay, all right, let's have some fun here." So we called him up and put him on speakerphone, and Damien's talking to him, saying, "You told me that he knew how to play the drums." He goes, No. I said that he was musically inclined. I said that, which I think is the greatest line an agent has ever said. And Damien said to me right away, he goes, "We do need you to play the drums. I can't not have your hands in terms of matching the music to what we're going to shoot. I just have to. You have to be able to play these couple of songs." And he said, "You need to practice a drum roll. In 1 week, I'll come back, and if you can do that in a week, you can keep the role." And Whiplash was nothing at the time, so I was like, "All right, this will be fun more than anything." So
Sure.
I had pencils, and I would just, when I was in the car, when I was doing anything, folding laundry, probably not folding laundry, that takes hands, but
I get the point.
I was practicing everywhere, and so I did it for him. He goes, "Okay, now we can teach you," and I did learn how to play those 3 songs.
No
wow.
kidding.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
I can still play double time swing. if you ask me that.
That's right. We don't have the kit here. If we only had the
what
kit.
you don't know is behind.
But we do have. Do we have the symbol here?
As you guys,
we have a symbol here that when JK's been on the program multiple times.
Yeah, right.
He's a big Ohio State fan. By the way, I wish he would be able to snap out of that in the same way that he snapped out of his other character, because I'm a Michigan Wolverine.
It should be easier these days.
I know.
Ohio State.
Well, listen, I
Trouble in River City.
I will slag on them at any point in time, as he well knows. But we had him sign the symbol. Here comes TJ with it right over here. You could read it out. You just hand it to our guest if you wish. There it is, a symbol. We had him sign it.
Oh, it's not quite my tempo.
That's
sure
right.
isn't.
That's what he said.
Wasn't mine either.
Right, and so, but he did say that at one point in your scene, and it really is. I'm just wondering if you'd have been able to learn playing the drums if you had somebody like him teaching you, like throwing things at you. That would not have been very helpful.
I've always responded pretty well. I had some coaches like that along the way. And
in baseball, you're talking about,
yeah,
or in sports?
And I'm somebody who responds pretty well to, let's say, over demanding coaching.
Interesting.
So I probably would have done all right. Eventually, I probably would have socked the guy in the face. But.
Okay. As by the way, I wanted to just watching that movie. And Bridge of Spies is another one of my favorites. And I watched that last year when we did a couple games in Germany, and I'm in Berlin, and I'm like, you know what? I walked around the town and I saw, what East Berlin used to be and West Berlin, and took, a bike tour of the area and learned all about the history. And I'm like, you know what? I'm now going to go watch Bridge of Spies again. It's a great movie. You play Gary Powers, the airman who's right in the middle of this whole situation, having been captured by the Russians. And so what happens in this movie is incredible. What was your perspective of that? You got a good story from the set of that?
Sure. First and foremost, to Gary Powers, this guy who sat in a Russian prison for over a year. Never once said anything bad about the United States. He's a patriot through and through.
So you learned all about Gary Powers,
I
obviously.
did. I got to listen to hours and hours of him being interviewed about his experience, about, I can remember him talking about the soup that they would give him. He said it didn't quite taste like fish, but it tasted like a fish had swam through it at one point.
Interesting.
Really just a regular guy who was very good at flying airplanes, obviously, and ended up in a really bad situation. But
wound up getting swapped to come back to the United States, and the character in the film portrayed by Tom Hanks.
We filmed that scene where the swap took place on the bridge, where it actually
bridge. Which is not in Berlin, right?
No, it's in Rotterdam.
Okay.
If my mind can remember
it's out
that.
Of town.
Yeah. Galeikener Bridge. And it was the coldest night. It's the coldest I've ever been.
No kidding.
And I live up in Vermont. Like, I go skiing in negative 50. It's okay. This was so cold where the bridge crosses a lake, and the wind was just whipping. I have on period shoes, which means I can't put on anything more than dress socks. And at one point in the scene, I take off that hat to be identified, right? And after the scene, I go, they call cut, and I go to put my hat back on. And the gal who was doing my hair said, no, you have to keep it just like for continuity now. I have to put my hat back. It was so cold.
So did you complain to Spielberg at this point in time?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what you do? You call Steven over? And
I did.
Like, hey,
Stevie. Yeah, Steve Areno. Come over here, pal. I'm cold. Give me a hug. He's walking around like a burnt marshmallow. He's got on the world's largest puffer jacket. Tom Hanks actually did have sausages brought to set that night with a guy with a cart on his back.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Tom's the greatest guy going. Yeah, he's exactly who you hope he is. But during the scene, I crossed paths with Mark Rylance.
Yes.
And Mark Rylance is, he's this very, as he comes off to the public, very sweet. Kind of
very unassuming.
The uncle that you'd like to have, or grandfather.
Yeah.
And every time he would pass me on the bridge, he would lean over and whisper something to me in these words: were filthy, terrible. Not nice words, trying to get me to break every single time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very serious. Yeah, and there's some other. I don't even know if I can say that.
As you're crossing, he's trying to get you to break in the middle of this.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're watching this movie, spoiler alert, we know what happens, but
right.
but that's the best type of movie moment based on history that what's going to happen, and you're still on the edge of your seat. So you're saying you're trying to be in this moment. It's the coldest you've ever felt. And Mark Rylance.
I am. I'm in a Spielberg film, and I'm shooting a TV show for Spielberg back in New York at the same time, flying back and forth week to week. So I'm really thinking that this is the actor's dream. I got to be in it. I was running 18 miles on a treadmill, day after day after day, trying to get myself to look like I had been in a prison and losing weight and just weak and then there's this guy leaning over. I mean, I can't say
the words. Just trying to get you to break.
Yeah.
And so, do
he
we
wanted
do
to
we
see you next Tuesday kind of thing?
That's awesome.
I don't even,
he did use the next Tuesday word. Oh my goodness gracious! And so, is there one of those takes where he's leaning and says something to you?
It was every
in the film?
take. It's one of them is if you were playing the audio. I'm sure the editor had a grand old time putting that scene together and could hear that.
Did Tom Hanks know this?
No, he's way off. He was in a warming tent somewhere.
It's a great movie, man. Great movie. What a pleasure to meet you. Congrats on NCIS Origins. And maybe we get you back here after a World Series championship.
That'll be soon. So, what?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Couple weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Next time you got a break in your schedule. Be quiet.
I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't.
Also, Rich, on NCIS, I mean, he's going to have this job for at least the next decade or so.
30 years at least. Yeah, these things happen, man.
So we're hoping for. Fingers crossed. Season 2 would be nice.
Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Stream it on Paramount Plus. The 2-part pilot premiered this week on Monday after the NCIS season 22 premiere. So that's how it works. Maybe another 21 years, sir, for you at least.
Thank you very much.
NCIS Origins on Paramount Plus is available right here on the Roku portal. Austin Stowell, check him out at AM Stowell on Instagram. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.